It's the 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic from Mannheim, Pennsylvania, and that massive facility is the Spooky Nook Sports Complex. It's our shoot-up finals of the largest indoor archery tournament on the East Coast. And it might be chilly outside, but it is nice and warm in here, and it's starting to heat up because we are getting ready to set the stage for Olympic recurve. And some of the biggest names in the sport came to Pennsylvania and are here to shoot. I'm Greg White, and welcome to the booth. This is Connor Kaufhold, who won this with a recurve in his hand as a youth. I know it's been a couple of years, but you still won this tournament. So how are things going? How's your weekend been, and how has the shooting been?
Yeah, my weekend's been good. I'm over to shooting bow hunter now, so I was in the cut. Didn't make it through eliminations, so I'm here and got to call some arrows, got to talk to some people on the stage, and now I'm in here with you. So it's been great so far, and we've seen some great matches today. Women's recurve was great, and now we're on to men's.
And this is a unique format. We have qualification rounds followed by elimination rounds, and then all of your points you shoot for the entire weekend, they get divvied up, and you sit as the #1 or #4 seed, and it's a bottom-up format. So you're going to shoot 4 to 3. Whoever wins that's going to advance to face #2, and whoever wins that goes to face the #1 qualifier on those entire points accumulated through the weekend. But look at the scoring. Connor, tell us about it.
Yeah, so we have the 12 ring in here. It's located on the 7-8 line low on each spot. Maximum points is 136 now because you can call that once per end. So the maximum score for each end is 34, and you can call, you need to call it for it to count, so we might see that today.
We might, but it's now time to get our archers to center stage. Here's PJ Riley.
All right, let's get things started with Olympic recurve. We're going to bring out our #4 seed from Gallarate, Italy, Michele Frangilli. And our #3 seed from Brampton, Ontario, Canada, Devaang Gupta.
It's going to be interesting to talk to Gupta about his accomplishments, and we talked to him. It's like he'll keep us posted, but Frangilli, we know, is an absolute superstar in this sport. Gold team in the Olympics in 2012, world champion in 2003. I mean, 2003. I mean, there's just so many accomplishments that this Italian archer has. This is going to be quite the matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both great shooters. It's great to see them both up here, and we'll see how it goes from here.
Gupta, of course, picking up archery in high school. Now, we talked about how you get to this point. You have to get through elimination matches, but once you do, your qualification score, which is based off of 660 points, so there's 60 arrows shot in qualification, but that innermost ring is worth 11 points, so 660 total. So for Frangilli, he was our 6th place qualifier at 618 points. Then there are 3 elimination matches where he scored 123, 120, 125. Those points get added to a total accumulation. So for Frangilli, he came in here at 986. Gupta came in, our 5th place seed was 622 after elimination matches, 988. So only 2 points total for the entire weekend until we got to this point. And of course, we'll talk about Brady Ellison, and he was the only archer in Olympic recurve to score over 1,000 points, and he sits in the #1 spot. But so far for Frangilli, boy, that arrow kicked a little bit weird. We'll see how that score looks like. It's going to be a 10, so far 11-10 now.
We have plenty of time, 30-second clock here, so he's down to 12 at the moment, so he'll get reset, draw, and if he makes a quick shot, he'll have plenty of time. And he makes a great shot, 11. Good recovery.
I mean, and to let down, it's not an easy thing to do under this pressure, is it?
Yeah, to know that things aren't going quite right, and it'll be better if you reset and get back at it. It's tough to make that call.
10.
shot by Frangilli. So you can see at the end of Frangilli's stabilizer, not the very end, but he's got a string hanging off. We'll talk more about that after PJ gets his deal done.
Shooting. Devaang, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Close enough.
Close enough. Thank you. Appreciate that. Is this your first time on the Classic Finals stage?
No, I was here last year.
Here last year. All right. How's it feel? Nerves feel the same? You ready to go?
Yeah, I'm shooting.
Can you run through your gear for me?
Sure, I'm shooting a win-and-win bow, ATF-TX, MX-TXB limbs, Excel sight, Excel stabilizers, Fairweather tab, Easton arrows, biter plunger, yeah.
And you know which knocks you got on there?
Biter knocks, they're the
Biter knocks. All right. Well, welcome back then to the Lancaster Archery Classic Finals stage. And as you mentioned, we have a 1-point lead. Michele Frangilli, 31-30.
Yeah, so I was talking about Frangilli's shots, and you can see that that string hanging off the front of his stabilizer, generally that's going to be used to indicate wind.
Yeah, we don't have much of that in here today.
We don't. But why mess with what you got, right?
Yeah, it's everything. A lot of stuff is carried over from outdoor. That's why we see so much of the X10s, especially on the women's side, because it's tough to take time away from practicing outdoor when, like, a lot of these shooters don't spend a whole lot of time indoor. And because of tournaments like this, we start to see more of the large diameter arrows like we see in this match, both archers shooting large diameter arrows, and even with that little string to indicate wind is still carrying over from outdoor.
Good shot. Do you think that someone who kind of leads the way like a Brady Ellison, when he started shooting these larger diameter arrows, probably what, like 6 or 7 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a.
Do you think that people recognize that and then started to try it themselves in practice, and that's why we see more?
Yeah, I think what you see winning, people take note of that, and that's definitely, a leader of. He's definitely a leader of change, and it's working out for Frangilli here. He's shooting great so far.
32.
Hasn't left the 10.
I know, hasn't left the 10. Great shot there as well. Let's get to PJ.
Here for these archers. Michele Frangilli following up a 31 with a 32. Welcome back to the Lancaster Archery Classic stage.
Thank you. Hello, everybody.
All right, Michele, run through your equipment for us.
I shoot a Gillo GF riser, 25 inch, limbs Gillo GTL 88, also Gillo stabilizer, axial sight, Whiffler plunger button, biter knock, and Easton arrow.
All right, Frangilli, Michele, how many times have you been on the final stage?
I think 3.
3 times. Yeah. All right. I know we see him here many times, him and his father, Vittorio, owners of Gilo Archery. We appreciate all their support here at the Lancaster Archery Classic, longtime sponsors of the Classic. After 2 ends, we have a 63-60 lead for Michele Frangilli.
All right, so Frangilli coming in here as the number 4 seed. He's in a good position, but we're only halfway through this match with 6 arrows apiece to go. There's a lot of points left. Plus, don't forget, there's the 12 ring that's available. And with these larger diameter arrows that they're shooting, I would think it would be...
Yeah, it's a bit easier to grab that line.
Yeah. Gupta really just, on that shot, just got back and just blew right through that.
Yeah, that was a really
clicker.
quick shot. That landed well, got him a point or 2 back, depending on that line call.
right, so that sound that you heard was actually him just kind of tapping the end of his front stabilizer bar onto the platform, just in disappointment.
Yeah, that hollow box the platform made quite a sound.
Just a little tap of, I don't know, probably has at least
Yeah,
five ounces
knew,
up front.
Yeah, he knew that shot wasn't his best, and now he has a chance to recover from it and make a good one here.
All right, so it looks like for Frangilli, we are sitting on that 9 asterisk, so we'll see if that gets upgraded to a 10 or an 11 at this point. And then so for Frangilli, he's at least sitting on a 30. It could be a 31, or, you know, we saw an arrow earlier today get upgraded from a 9 asterisk to an 11. So it was quite a big jump when that happened. And for Gupta, a 30, 11, 9, 10. There's 1 and left to go. 3 arrows each, obviously. We haven't seen anyone in this Olympic recurve category here at the 21st Lancaster Archery Classic hit that 12 button yet. But I have a feeling. I mean, if you're Gupta.
Yeah, it's about 12 time.
I'm just saying.
4 points is tough to make because Frangilli in these ends so far hasn't left 3 points on the table. So you're going to need that extra point from that 12, and you're going to need to make some 11s as well to catch up to him. So.
For Frangilli, of the 9 arrow shots so far, 4 11s and 5 10s. An interesting stance too, I think, from Gupta. If you look at his position actually on the platform.
Yeah, he's almost got his heels on the edge of the platform there. I noticed someone doing something similar yesterday. They were actually moving per spot they were shooting at. So if he starts on the left, it might be interesting to see if he, as he's shooting, moves slowly more to the right.
Yeah, so if he goes lower left target, number 1 first. Yeah. For Gupta, he hasn't moved yet, so it looks like he's going to stay in that position.
Yeah, it seems like he just prefers that location.
I've seen compound shooters actually do that, the feet shuffling thing. If they're not quite comfortable, if they think their alignment's perfect, it happens. Similarly, when you shoot on bales where you have target, like in a qualification round where you go from top target to bottom target, you'll see people make click adjustments if they need to.
Yeah. Another little tap.
And he shuffled his feet, so you can see he's got another couple inches off the edge of the box. He's just trying to find it, but this is the final end, and right now Gupta's trailing by 3 points. Ooh, and that's a dagger. So he's going for
Devaang
the 12.
calls the 12.
Why not? Go out in a blaze of glory. Let's go. Wake this crowd up at 10:27 a.m. East Coast time. Just right.
A bit right, yeah.
Perfect. BJ.
To the classic final stage. You're going to finish in 4th place. Take home $800 from us. Give it up for Devaang Gupta. All right, Michele Frangilli is going to move on to take on our number 2 seed from Voghera, Italy, Mauro Nespoli.
And for Nespoli, he brings out Vanessa Landy, who was just up on stage competing in the coach's box. And for Nespoli, how we got into archery was he tried archery on a vacation one day. And that was 27 years ago.
Yeah, lots of experience shooting in this match between these two. What, combined 67 years from our scouting card here.
67 years of archery between these two. Of course, for Nespoli, gold medal in team competition in the 2012 Olympics, silver medalist individual Tokyo 2020. Just so much skill and one of the most recognizable faces in the sport. With that hat, am I going to say it? Do I say it? Eminem? And, you know, we have, you know, we talk to these archers and we ask them questions. One of the questions is what motivates you to keep, you know, keeps you in the sport. From Frangilli's point of view, he's like, it's his life. Obviously, we heard PJ say Gilo, but for Nespoli, the glory.
All about the glory.
All about that glory. Love that answer. And for Nespoli, in terms of adding up all the points that you accumulated during the course of the weekend in your qualification elimination matches, 999 points was his total haul before getting to the stage as the number 2 seed. So for Nespoli, the first arrow is a 9 asterisk, but before we get the official score, it looks like it's all tied up after 3, and that one's going to go right in the 9 ring. So an opportunity for Frangilli to jump on it and possibly take a 2-point lead. Maybe if that 9 asterisk gets upgraded to a 10 to a 1-point lead. 11. And the 11 got it.
Great shooting between
Here's
these
PJ.
Italians here. Mauro, welcome to the Classic Final stage.
Thank you, thank you.
Have you been up on the stage before?
No, this is my first time here. I fight a lot of time with Michele, but this is my first time in this type of competition.
You get to compete a lot, I would imagine, against Michele.
Yeah, maybe since 2006 we start competing together, so it's a lot of time.
All right, well, can you run through your setup for me here? What kind of equipment are you shooting?
Oh, I'm using 5X bow, both riser limbs and stabilizer, axle sight, biter plunger, and Easton arrows with Jet 6 vanes.
Nox you got there?
Biter Nox.
Yep, Biter Nox. I thought I saw that correctly. Okay, well, welcome, Mauro, to the final stage. After our first end, we have a 2-point lead, Michele Frangilli, 31-29.
All right, so that 2-point lead now for Frangilli. Nespoli trying to find his footing on this stage, deal with the nerves. He's got plenty of experience, but, you know, you show up to someplace new, you're on a platform, you have a 12 ring.
Lights, cameras everywhere.
Yeah, at least when you're in the Olympics, you're still at least in your environment, right? You're outdoors and the wind is blowing, but here we go. Trying to make up that gap. Got one.
Yep, gain 1 back.
A little high.
Now Mauro has an opportunity to even take the lead with an 11 here.
10. Okay.
Ties it up.
Yeah. When you shot, did you use anything like a nose button, or like if you look at, you know, Frangilli, he's got what we call a kisser button.
Yeah, I for a short time did when I was struggling with moving my head or something like that. But for long term, I wouldn't have it on. Generally, I would just have the string touching the tip of my nose. But if I was having other issues that I was working on, I would put one on, and it would help to stay more consistent.
All right, I believe we have a lead change.
It looks like the lead is going to change, 59 to 60. And that's based off of a 31. So far what we've seen is Frangilli came right out of the gate with 2 11s and a 9 for 31. And Nespoli, finding his feet, goes 29 with 9, 11, 9. But then the tides change a little bit. 10, 9, 9 for 28 for Frangilli in this second end. And Nespoli starting to settle in with 11, 10, 10 for 31. And as that score comes in, we have officials that are downrange that are going to double check all the scores. We have volunteer runners that are grabbing those arrows. So each archer has an agent that's down on the target. They're responsible for making sure that the scores are called correctly. They can argue, you know, on behalf of the archer.
Yeah,
if
they
feel
can fight for their fight for the points. So.
Yep. But then they also are the ones that pull the arrows, and they give them to. We have some young volunteers that are running those arrows back. So by the rules here in Lancaster Archery Classic, if you're planning on coming to shoot this competition in any category, just be mindful that one of the rules is you got to have at least 6 arrows if you're going to make these shoot up. And that's the reason why. 3 of your arrows are going to be in limbo in between ends. All right, 30-second shot clock, like we remind you. So a little bit of a letdown. Didn't quite go to full draw, but still 10 seconds to go. You can see that shot clock.
Gets it off with 2 to go. 9.
So right now, that's 3 9s in a row for Frangilli, looking to try to get back into those middle rings.
11.
As for Nespoli, the last 5 arrows shot, 3 of those have been 11s.
Yeah, he's really found it here.
9.
Okay. Thought maybe he was going to put his foot on the gas on that 1 arrow.
Yeah, opportunity to get back in it for Frangilli here.
An 11 could close the gap to 3 points.
9.
So a 27 end for our number 4 place, number 4 seed. Now to keep in mind, this is a shoot-up format, so these archers that are in this match currently guaranteed a podium spot will be no less than 3rd place. And then the winner is going to go shoot against our number 1 qualifier. This guy who lives in Montana, Ellison or something. I think he's a new face on the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've stormed onto the scene.
He's definitely not on like half of the banners that are up right now.
Yeah, exactly. Half the banners, exactly. Yeah, I wonder. So basically, if you look to PJ's right, down target, we have the actual target sitting there. You have a big screen, and then the Lancaster Archery Classic has these banners. You can see them hanging there that are from basically the last 4 years. And, you know, even if you had banners that went from 19, you know, or 18, 17, you're still going to see Brady Ellison's face on those banners. It's kind of a cool thing. If you're a winner, you get that recognition. Final end to decide who's going to advance to shoot against the number 1 or who's going to be 3rd place in Olympic Recurve, the 2025 Lancaster Archery Classic here in Manheim, Pennsylvania. These archers shooting at a 40-centimeter target face that is 18 meters, just shy, like literally like an inch or something, shy of 20 yards. And it has been an outstanding run. This is day 4 of this tournament with a record turnout in terms of attendance.
10.
And behind us right now, they're still shooting outside of our arena. They're still shooting collegiate.
Yeah, there's a combination here. We have the classic, the money shoot, and then we also have a Easton youth and collegiate shoot for the young up-and-coming archers to get their experience in a large tournament setting.
And we still have youth classes here as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, the next class coming up after this is going to be one of our youth classes. But as this match continues to roll on,
Frangilli calls a 12 here for his last arrow.
as It's starting to get standing room only with this crowd. Can he wake this crowd up with this shot? Just high.
Oh.
Just a little high, but you got to take that risk. So Frangilli's going to finish third. Nespoli's going to move on. Here's PJ.
32. So Michele Frangilli's going to finish in third place here at the Classic. Take home $2,000 from us, $350 from himself at Gilo. Let's give it up for Michele Frangilli.
Congrats.
All right, let's bring out our #1 seed, 5-time Olympic medalist from Billings, Montana, Brady Ellison.
I wonder, I haven't asked him this, Brady Ellison, but I wonder, Connor Caulfield, as we get ready for this final match for Olympic Recurve in the 21st annual Lancaster Archery Classic. 5 medals in the Olympics or a perfect 900 in Vegas with a recurve? What he's more proud of?
I would have to think those 5 medals, but I would
know.
have to think so.
I would
but
think
that's
so too,
both
but
incredible accomplishment. 900 at the Vegas shoot.
yeah.
It's incredible.
So here's Brady Ellison. He's going to start off.
Great
boy.
start.
Now we talked about Brady Ellison. He was the #1 qualifier. Now for Nespoli, he was the #2 qualifier. So Nespoli was able to shoot a 630 out of 660. Brady Ellison beat him by 1 single point at 631. And with their elimination matches, though, the 3 elimination matches they had, the 116, 1/8, and 1/4, Ellison scored just 8 points more during that run than Mauro Nespoli did, and that's why he's the #1 seed.
It's cool that every arrow counts. If you know that 1 point gap from qualification could easily go the other way, but it's great that all these arrows count, and it really can change things, especially in these pro classes where everything can be so close.
All right, Nespoli has a chance to jump on Brady, and he does. So 33 to 31.
Start.
I'll tell you what, Brady will hit that 12 button if he needs to anytime.
Yeah, we've seen it before.
Here's PJ.
Back to the stage.
Thank you.
I won't ask you how many times you've been there. I think you're on 3 of those banners up there. It's been a bunch. Let's run through your gear.
Yeah, shooting a 25-inch GMX 3 Series this year with Axia wood limbs, Shrewd stabilizers, Excel sights and tabs, and Shrewd flex scope. Super sweet old X7 Cobalts, Easton arrows. They were Butch's, so that tells you how old they are.
I was gonna say you had to dig those out of a basement somewhere, but Butch Johnson, you got his arrows.
Yeah.
Awesome. Butch Johnson was a long-time competitor here at the Classic, passed away within the past year. We all remember Butch fondly. After our first end, Mauro with a perfect 33 to Brady Ellison's 31. Let's hear it for these guys. That's some shooting.
That certainly is. A 33 with any bow is quite an accomplishment here. Keep in mind, that's based on what we call the X-ring if you're looking at a normal Vegas face, worth that 11 points. So Connor, you mentioned it, this tournament has so many elements of it that are good, and when you combine them all, the fact that every single arrow you shoot is accumulated and it makes a difference, then you get to the finals and you have the ability, if you're behind a point or two, to try to come back with that 12 ring. This is definitely, for indoor archery especially, the risk reward, it's so tantalizing.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. It's cool that there's become the strategy that there is, and I'm so excited to see what we have for recurve here and what we have later for compound, because that's developed into a whole different strategy
Oh,
with
boy.
12 ring in play.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that. And that comes in both categories. In the open category, which is the amateur category, coming up here in a couple matches, we have 8 that shoot up. And then we're going to have the women's pro open category for compound. We have 4 that shoot up. And then the last match of 2025 will be the men's open pro category, where we'll have 8 shooters. And that's where things got crazy last year. So you'll definitely want to settle into that lazy boy, start popping that popcorn as you're watching one of the best in the world do it. This guy was 50% responsible for one of the best gold medal matches in Olympic history. And then, after defeat at the Olympics, put on one of the highest displays of sportsmanship we've seen at the Olympics. Let's go to PJ. He's going to talk to Mel, his coach.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How you doing?
You had a lot of archers doing well this weekend.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Doing all right. What are you telling Brady up there?
We just trying to make sure it's his process. That's all that matters, and have fun.
All right, Mel Nichols coaches a lot of archers here at the Classic.
Yeah, coached a lot of archers here at the Classic, and I believe he has 4 of his archers across all categories that I think it's at least 4 that made the shoot-ups. That's quite an accomplishment for one coach. Yeah. And for that old pineapple group down there in Phoenix, Arizona area. Here, he's going to have a lot of his athletes are going to shift around to other disciplines within archery too. So we're going to see when he gets on the ASA scene how well he's able to do down there with his athletes. All right, but we have 2 ends of competition left. So Nespoli right now has a healthy lead over Ellison.
10.
You can see right now it's at 4 points.
Yeah, and with how this match has gone so far, the scores are so high, we might see a third end 12 call, depending on how these next 2 arrows go for Nespoli.
11.
Nespoli's only dropped one. He's only dropped 1 point now in 8
and you
arrows.
see it here. Brady's called the 12.
So he knows what's going on. He's got to start making some points up.
Just a bit high.
Just a bit high. Well, at least it wasn't a 7. This is an
Great
incredible
shooting from
target.
Mauro.
Incredible target. Yeah, something's just not clicking right now for Brady Ellison. We have 1 end to go. And now I'm really focused on Nespoli and what he's able to accomplish, because Nespoli, depending on this arrow call, that 10 asterisks, may have only dropped 1 point so far in 9 arrows, which is incredible. And of course, PJ's talking to him right now to try to get him out of his rhythm. Hey, you've only missed 1 point. How you feeling? It's like, I'd be like, I don't want to talk to you right now.
Yeah.
But that's actually, it's interesting because when your dad started to do that, and people were kind of surprised about it, especially like the amateur division. There was a shooter a few years ago who was in 7th place in the open category, who was not a talker in general. And he shot his way all the way up to 1st place, and every end had to talk. And we got to, I don't even know, he was probably like shooting against 3rd place. And Dad was like, so how's it going? He goes, I'm hungry. Like, he was literally out of things to say. But I think there were people that were like, oh, I don't know if that's fair to archers or whatever. But over the years, it's become one of those signature things that happens in archery. And people want to do it. They prepare for it.
It's cool to hear about what all, what all everyone's shooting, what all goes into their practice schedule, and what they're like. It's cool to hear from the archers, because often it's just you see them up there and you see the shooting, but you don't get to know anything else about the archery. It's cool to get a little look into what all goes into it. And Brady, before the timer even starts, calls the 12 here.
I've said this before, started talking about it last year. I think there should be a slight format change in that you get 4 12s, and you can use them anytime you want, meaning add them up, wait till shoot for 3 12s in the final end. I'm just saying. Got the 12.
Hits it with it.
I'm just saying,
12 with a recurve.
think about if he had two more 12s, he could shoot.
Yeah,
But, right now the rules are you only get 1 per end.
And that would definitely change how the strategy goes for the other classes we see, like for compound. Like right now, you'd see some that are very early, like
First arrow.
Yeah, and with that change, we might not see that. We might see like people, save them up for the last 4 arrows.
I'm just saying, you might know somebody on the rules committee. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I may have an in, but yeah, it's.
I love the way it's done now. I'm just saying, if you were like, okay, I'm going to save my 12s. I have 4 12s total per match, and you could pick and choose where you wanted to anywhere. That would add a different wrinkle to it.
Yeah, it definitely would.
Wow. So Brady on the back of that 12, tried everything he could, but Nespoli looks like it's going to be a 5-point win. Here's PJ.
He's going to finish second here at the Classic. Take home 4,000 from us, 1,000 from Hoyt, and 300 from Gas Bowstrings. Give it up for Brady Ellison. And our champion with a score of 126, $8,000 from us. Let's hear it for Mauro Nespoli. Mauro, how's that feel? First time here, you're the champ.
Oh, it's amazing. I need to improve my English for next year, but I'm very happy. I'm very happy, and I shoot very well. Against Brady, I need to be perfect, I know, and he's a legend. He's my legend, and next time will be different.
All right, Mauro, we appreciate you coming out here. Your champion once again, Mauro Nespoli.
Always a class act, and we'll have his face on the 2025 banner for next year's Lancaster Archery Classic. But the 21st edition Spooky Nook Sports Complex here in Manheim, Pennsylvania, Olympic Recurve is in the books. It's done and dusted. And we have more shoot-up finals coming at you. Don't forget, we're a couple matches away from seeing the compound pro shooters, both men and women. We're at the largest indoor archery tournament on the East Coast, and after this, we'll bring you more shoot-up finals from Manheim, Pennsylvania.